guys, it's Robin. Welcome to my channel. I'd like to say a few words about loving kindness. I'm sure, you know, most of us have heard that if you read the Bible and or go to church, um, then you should have heard that. But we need to extend that loving kindness to all of God's children in need. Well, whether they're in need or not, but especially if they're in need. The definition of loving kindness, of course, it's love. And we all think of love as an emotional feeling. But do you realize that it's also physical and temporal and eternal good? We all need to be showing this to others. Do you remember the story, the parable in the book about the Good Samaritan? In Luke 10, it starts with verse 25, but it's about a traveler who was stripped of his clothing, and he was beaten, badly beaten, and left for half dead. Well, there was a Jewish priest and a Levite that passed by him and just left him laying there. But the third person that came by, he helped the man. And I mean, he helped him and nursed him back to health. Made sure he was okay. And that was the Good Samaritan. But that's what we all need to be doing. We need to be looking after other people. You know, it doesn't always take money. We don't have to have money to show loving kindness, to show people that we care. You know, a smile in passing, opening the door for somebody. If you see somebody in the grocery store or outside who needs help putting their groceries in their vehicle because they have a hard time physically. All that doesn't cost anything but a few minutes of your time. You know? And I'm not bragging, but that's one thing that I did a few weeks ago, I think. I come out of the grocery store and there was a lady. She had been in one of those carts, and she had her cane with her. But I didn't see her until I come out of the store, and it was starting to sprinkle. It was starting to rain. And I walked over to her and asked her if I could help her put her groceries in her car. She was so thankful. She was so thankful. And then I took the cart back up to the store. But I mean, that doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And you know that feeling of love that you have in your heart, that feeling of caring, do you know where that comes from? That comes from God. God put that in you. If you didn't know God, then you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have it to give. there's a couple of verses that I'd like to share with you from the Bible. And this is from my Christian Standard Bible. It's a study Bible. But in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it says, verse 4 down to the beginning of verse 8. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It is not boastful. It is not arrogant. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not irritable. It does not keep record of wrongs. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And the last part that I want to read is the beginning of verse 8, and it says, love never fails. That is all. I love that verse. That's called the love verse in the Bible. And they say that one at a lot of weddings and stuff, but it's beautiful. And it's all based on God. But those are feelings that we should be having toward each other. And I mean, there are a lot of knots there. Not envious, not boastful. There's a lot of knots there. But if you have any of those, is it really godlike? But in Ephesians 4, verse 29, here's another thing that we need to practice, and that's all part of caring and loving. No foul language should come from your mouth, but only what is good for building up someone in need, so that it gives grace to those who hear. And then the last one was out of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 12. And it says, therefore, holy and dearly loved, put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a grievance against another, just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you are also to forgive. Above all, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. God is so good. He is so loving and so kind and so compassionate. And in our Christian walk, we need, to pay attention to what we're doing, what we're saying, how we're saying it. Helping others. Helping to lift them up. Give them that hand up, just like God gave you. Yeah. Pass it on. Pass it on. God loves you, but He also loves all His other children. And it hurts Him when He sees us just passing somebody up that could use our help. It's good. It's always good to help in the church. But it's also good to help on the street or in the store. Show that compassion. Show that love. That's God's way. And as Christians, that's how we should be. Y'all have a blessed weekend.